Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah, coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, I'm going to give all praises, Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahushua. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brothers and sisters, before I begin, I wanted you guys to go check out Brother Modiel's latest video. I will put it in the chat or on the community page in a little bit, but he did an excellent breakdown about how we're allowed to, at this time, bring our cases before the Most High. You know, there's just so much happening in the stars. What did I tell you? They're going to have to come up with bigger and bigger stories in order to grab your attention. All of a sudden now is another move on Trump's life, supposedly. Because, like I told you, they got to come up with bigger and bigger events to try to steal your energy. Because they just can't take it anymore. They don't have any power anymore. They're living off of the glory days of the past. They're living off the glory days when we didn't know anything, and we really believed we only had to choose between Democrats and Republicans. We only had to choose between Christians and Catholics or Muslims or whatever else. We only had to choose between whatever the Gentiles gave us. And those days of glory are long past you, son. I said it's way in the past, way in the rearview mirror, and every day those days get further and further away to the point where they've just disappeared in the distance. Now you have new issues now. You have the people of the Most High raising his people back up. The true representatives of the Most High on earth, in which you were never, but you always were trying to play that part. How was church today, family? Did you guys have a good time going to church today, you Gentiles? Did you learn anything new? Got the sister that came on the video over on TikTok, and she's just like, how can you say that you know what everything's being taught in every church? We're supposed to, we're supposed to all go to church. That's the doctrine. The doctrine is all of us going to church. And I was like, you must be new. Some other people were like, yeah, you must be new. You're supposed to go to church. I'm like, well, the church has nothing to do with the building you've been going to. The church is a called out group of people. Called out group of the Most High's chosen people. That's who the real church is. Not what you've been taught. But you'll get it. Most High has you here for a reason. I pray that the Most High opens your eyes to see what your pastors and priests have not shown you. Like I told her, your pastors and priests run from men and women like us. They want nothing to do with trying to have a conversation with someone like us, because we're not going to argue with you about what Paul says and what Paul meant. We're going to say, well, what did your church do for the last 2,000 years that they've been in authority? And that's usually enough to shut them up, because they've done nothing but rape, rob, murder, and steal. And then told you to go to church and just pray for forgiveness and that we're all equal, when they've never treated us as equals. Well, they have treated us as equals when it comes to the punishment and the destruction. They did their job as far as making sure that they went all over the world, taking their doctrine of death to the Israelites everywhere. And that's what we're going to talk about today. See, you talk about these monsters and things like that. They pretty much compared us to vampires, sucking blood from babies and this and that. And would you know that they did exactly the same thing when they came over here to the Americas? See, I don't care what people they show you today. Look at their track record, because their track record was to go worldwide and destroy the Israelites. And they would use the same MO everywhere. That's what the Spaniards did when they got here. Oh, they were sacrificing people and ripping their hearts out, and they were doing this and doing that, when there was not necessarily any proof of this, but they made these accusations in order to demonize our people so they could do what they plan on doing in the first place. Steal our authority, steal our land, steal our resources. That's all that they've been able to, that's all they wanted to do, and they use the same tactics every single time. So let's get in here real quick. We'll get back into a little same section that we were on yesterday. The Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology. And of course, they're hiding a lot of their actions in books like this. I'm telling you to read because it's all witchcraft, but it's funny because the witchcraft it's talking about are the things you've done to the Israelites. I guess that's some kind of witchcraft that you shouldn't be reading. Hey, you guys were so proud of this stuff before. You were proud because the whole world in the Book of Mormon, 1 Nephi 13, was talking about how the whole world gives homage, and their worship to this Church of Satan because they took down the Israelites. This is why you went to church today. Not because you expected to learn anything, but you give your homage to this organization because they took down the children of the Most High. You give your worship to the Church of Satan because you took down the true people and you were able to get your little piece of the pie, your little piece of heaven. That's why today, even with all of this truth coming out, you still playing dumb. You still acting as if you're really the people of these lands, and you're not, and you can't even prove it, and you're not even making an attempt to, because you already know you can't. Because as soon as you try to say something, you're going to get smashed. You're going to get destroyed. And the Most High has already shut your mouth. You're just running around here like chickens with your heads cut off at this point. No knowledge, not seeking any knowledge, no understanding, because the Most High doesn't want you to see it. And there's nothing we could do anyways to make you see it. So again, right here, the Sabbat, did they call it? Because you just take away one letter and it went from Shabbat to Sabbat, and supposedly something totally different. But we know the Sabbat combined into one system, old legends of sorcery. That would be us, the old systems of sorcery, right? As they say, and the new ideas of heresy. That's what the Christians brought in, and they merged that together, and that's how they made it seem as if we were practicing witchcraft and whatever else on the Shabbat. Blasphemous parodies of Christian rites, allegedly licentious orgies, otherwise considered taboo subjects, and underground conspiracy against law and order. As they said, we were doing even today. I feared for my life. They're doing all these things against law and order. Remember their politics. We're law and order. I'm going to be a law and order president. Law and order. Everybody's going to follow the laws. They're going to be thrown in jail. And these people are supposedly in the Shabbat going against law and order. Who do they always say going against law and order? Us, so-called black people. If you'd have just listened to that police officer, he would have shot you 20 times. I know you didn't have a weapon on you, but if you would listen to him, you wouldn't have gotten shot 50 times. Same thing, right? An underground conspiracy against law and order, aided by all the powers of evil, and the theological twist that these assemblies of witches and demons were the nadir of Satanism. That's what they wanted to say. We were the Satanists. The Most High's chosen people were Satanists. That's how they pretty much, justified what they did to us. So next page right here. I'm not going to read all of this. But a lot of stuff has been half fabricated during the 14th and 15th centuries, largely by the investigators and judges connected with the Inquisition. So the Inquisition, so they're all going after, as we said, the Israelites. Okay? A rudimentary form was introduced at a trial in Toulouse in 1335. Okay? Included in his Champions des Dames, a confession of a developed Sabbat from an old woman who said she had attended such meetings since she was 16. Okay? And later on, it's like a couple of people had gotten into it. 2 inquisitors managed to gain admittance to a Shabbat. Okay? However, the enraged crowd of witches discovered and attacked them, so they died before they could report their experiences. Pope Innocent's Bull of 1484 says, however, made no allusion to the Sabbat. All right, and we're going to keep on going down to the next section here. It says, various derivations have been given for the word. It may best be regarded as simply the Hebrew word for the seventh day, transferred by hostile association with witches, Jews, okay? Jews, witches, and Mohammedans, okay, were three traditional targets of Catholic opposition because we were not for your turn. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. We told you we were the sons of the living power, and you hated it. We told you that, we don't want to be down with you. We don't want to hang out with you. That your ways are contrary to our ways in the Most High. So that's where all this goes back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. If you haven't read it, if you're new here, go read it. And you'll see that these people were set up to go against the Most High's chosen people. And that's exactly what these churches were doing. So again, Jews, witches, and Mohammedans were three traditional targets for Catholic opposition. In early works, even the word synagogue was often used for Sabbat. So again, going after people who worship in synagogues, the Israelites. So it's more important than its derivation of definition, however, were all the connotations that came to surround the word. Not simply an assembly of witches to honor the devil, but also the celebration of diabolical rites, okay, and the indulgence of licentious orgies and three trends refused, okay? So again, but they also talk about us drinking blood, killing babies, all these other things. But for them, it's always about sex. They're always worried about what kind of sex we're having. That seems to be the biggest thing for these churches. What kind of sex you're having? What are you guys doing over there? Why aren't we invited? That's all they're worried about. I said, but that's okay, man. I said, we understand how you guys are. I said, but let's continue. Let's take a look at this to show you that these same allegations were brought over here to the Americas, to Central America and Mexico. Why is that? Because the same people were in these lands. When they got here, they found Jews, Israelites, people who looked like the Moors, and people who they said were witches. Except we were dwelling on these lands. So they brought those papal bulls that they had, they used. They were using it to justify what they were going to do when they came over here to the Americas, because they knew that, as Columbus was saying, they were going to be able to fulfill prophecy. So they're going to be able to find their way over here to these lands. That's what these papal bulls were really going towards our people that we're going to find over here. That we're not human, we're subhuman. So therefore they can do whatever they want to us. We're 3/5 of a man, 60. Again, the numbers of the Most High, 3, 6, and 9. That's why we got 3/5 of a man. We're 60% of a man. Yeah, we get it, man. I said, these are all the things you guys have been doing to us, and then hiding it in books like these. Books that most people would never look into. An encyclopedia of occultism. Oh my God, that's devil worship. Don't look at that. The same stuff. The occult, this means hidden sciences, hidden personalities, psychic science, magic, demonology, spiritism, and mysticism by Lewis Spence. It's funny how, all this stuff about, if you want to get into witchcraft, it's just such an expensive endeavor. Because these books are super expensive just to learn about evil. But but you guys are pushing evil for free. You guys are pushing all this evilness in your churches for free. You guys practice that. You guys you went to church today, right? You guys do some communion. You take the host today. Because, all that, again, those are all just pretty much magical, experiences that you guys are having. You're practicing magic when you go to the Eucharist, when you take the Eucharist, when you go to Mass. That's why I said in the last video, that's why you're dealing with the 4 elements. Fire, the candle, the air element, all right? When they're burning their incense. Water would be the wine, and the earth would be the host. Your little corn cakes. It comes from the earth. That's why you gotta have those 4 elements present. And what are you guys doing? You're taking something that's dead, supposedly Jesus died for your sins, and you're transmuting that to something that is alive, and then you're consuming it. Witchcraft. And then all the while you stole that from the Gnostics. You didn't come up with any of this stuff on your own. You stole that from the Gnostics. But then you want to try to, again, blame us or accuse us of things that you're trying to do. So I hope you enjoyed your little witchcraft today. You think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden today also they try to get you a little fear going on by saying that someone made a move on Trump again on your White Jesus Day so that you can go to church and pray for Trump and his safety so that they can try to steal more of your energy by instilling fear in you? Eventually, hopefully, you'll figure it out. Hopefully, one day, you're going to figure it out. That's why the Most High is upping the game now. So you see how he's got your pastors and priests shook? You don't see them trying to talk about any of this information? Because the Most High has closed their mouths. And you don't know what the Most High has given to his people. But as you can see, we're destroying the foundation of your churches every day, and your pastors and priests got nothing to say. Pretty funny, isn't it? I'd be real kind of terrified, a little uncomfortable if I was you. Mexico and Central America, okay? The occult science among the ancient Mexicans, which would be us, may be said to have been in that stage between the savage simplicities of medicine men and the more sophisticated magical practices of the medieval sorcerer. The sources which inform us regarding it are unfortunately of a most scanty description and are chiefly gleaned from the works of the early missionaries to the country. So, of course, they don't tell their own history. We got to listen to it from the missionaries from Spain. I'm sure they don't have, any ill will or, towards the native people, right? They were above board and they were being, straightforward and being fair with those people like they always have been, right? Yeah. After they came in and burned all the books, stole all the information, got a clean slate, now they want to tell the history from their perspective. If you think you can trust those priests, you got nothing. You got another thing coming. They had an agenda. Like they always have an agenda. Except now the Most High doesn't let them push their agenda anymore. That's why they are very quiet now. Because the Most High does not let them push that agenda anymore. So again, the source which inform us regarding it are unfortunately of a most scanty description and are chiefly gleaned from the works of the early missionaries to the country and from the legends and myths of the people themselves. And like I said, how do we know that you didn't, mess with those myths and legends? We know you did. Writing upon the sorcerers of Mexico, Sahagún, an early Spanish priest, states that the Nahuali, or magicians among the Mexicans, is one who enchants men and sucks the blood of infants during the night. That sounds interesting. That sounds like exactly what you claim the Jews were doing on the Sabbat. Just acting like they were just pretty much sucking out the blood of the babies. So you just brought that over here because you were dealing with the same people when you got over here. So again, is one of the enchantments that sucks the blood of infants during the night. This would seem as if the writer had confounded the sorcerer with the vampire, a mistake occasionally made by continental writers on magic, and that's it. Same things. But you did the same thing today at church. Kind of funny, didn't it? You took a dead person, right? Made him come back alive. You consumed him. Take my body, take my blood, do this in remembrance of me. Same thing. Are you guys vampires too? Because that's exactly what you just did. But you see the hypocrisy of it all. Was that what they were really doing, or were they doing the same stuff that you're talking about doing? It's symbolically doing certain things, and you told me, well, that's what they were doing in real life. So we can call you vampires now. You see? The hypocrisy of it all. So again, a mistake occasionally made by continental writers on magic. He proceeds to say that among the Mexicans, this class is ignorant of nothing which appertains to sorcery, and possess great craft and natural address, that they hire themselves out to people to work evil upon their enemies, which they did that in the church too. They did that in the Bible too. when these people will go and try to get their witchcraft people to go against the children of Israel when they were coming into a land, and the people in the land hired these magicians to try to set up curses against the Israelites, and they knew better. They're like, oh no, I ain't doing that to those people. In fact, I'm going to bless them because those are the Most High's chosen people. That's what you all should be doing. Instead of still trying to go against the Most High children, you better be trying to bless us at this point. See, everything is working everything is working like it's in the spirit world first, and then it manifests here in the physical. If you haven't noticed it yet, the Most High has made us juggernauts, right, in the spiritual world. We are the quadrillionaires, just multi-trillionaires of knowledge and understanding of this world. See, someone has said something about, well, how do we know, if you're, oh no, we're not under the curses anymore. A brother was kind of saying that, we're not under the curses anymore, or that we are still under the curses. And I said to him, why would you think we're still under the curses? I said, it depends on your point of view. I am not under the curses anymore. But he thinks that we as a people still are under the curses. Now, it's all about your perspective. Now, see, if your idea of blessing and cursing is about money, houses, status in this society, if that's how you gauge being under the blessing or curses, then yes, you can say that we are cursed still, because we don't have all of our resources back, all of our money back, all of our standing back. Yes, if that's how you gauge being blessed. But I don't gauge being blessed by the things that I have in this matrix. I gauge being blessed by my mental and spiritual capacities that the Most High has given me, by the knowledge and understanding that the Holy Spirit has given me. And that is how I look at a blessing. So therefore, my blessing that I look at is leaps and bounds above all other men and women here in this matrix. Same with you. If you have knowledge and understanding, once again, that was given to you by the Most High. That is a blessing. Wisdom is uncomparable to anything in this world. So I look at myself as blessed above the vast majority of men. Because, yes, I don't have the money that Donald Trump has and all these other rich billionaires and whatever else. But let's see this. Would these billionaires trade their position with mine? Hell yeah. Would I trade my position of knowledge, understanding, being used by the Most High with a billionaire or someone who has $1 trillion in this system? Hell no. So that's how I look at it. Would I switch places with them, or would they switch places with me? Trust me. They would switch places with me in a heartbeat. To have the kind of knowledge that I have, based on the Most High and the Holy Spirit and what they have blessed me with, as opposed to, their very temporal blessings that they got from the devil. You got, okay, beautiful, man. Yeah, you got a lot of money. You got a lot of women. Great for you. But do you have any knowledge, understanding of this truth? So I always look at it as, who would you switch places with these people? And I'm sure that we would all say, hell no. Would they switch with us? Hell yes. So I look at us as being blessed, not cursed anymore. We were cursed. When I didn't have this knowledge understanding, at times, yeah, we would be a little jealous of what we saw them being able to do. Damn, you guys are going on vacation again. Damn, you guys bought another house. Damn, you guys are doing this. I'm stuck here just working my ass off. I can't get ahead. This, and that. Now it's like, nah, man, you good. You enjoy that vacation. Enjoy that time, because it's going to be short-lived. Okay? So as you can see right here, these people had a lot of knowledge over here about so-called magic. So again, he proceeds to say that among the Mexicans, this class is ignorant of nothing. which appertains to sorcery, and possesses great craft and natural address, that they hire themselves out to people to work evil upon their enemies, and to cause madness and maladies. The necromancer, he says, is a person who has made a pact with a demon, and who is capable of transforming himself into various animal shapes. Okay, such people appear to be tired of life and await death with complacency. The astrologer practices among the people as a diviner. Okay, and as a thorough knowledge and has a thorough knowledge of the various signs of the calendar, from which he is able to prognosticate, okay, the fortunes of those who employ him. This he accomplishes by weighing the power of one planet against the other, and thus discovering the resultant applies it to the case in point. These men were called into consultation, okay, at births and deaths, and as well as upon public occasions, and would dispute with much nicety on their art. The astrological system of the Mexicans was like that of their calendar, of the most involved description possible, and no mere summary of it could convey anything but a hazy notion of the system. Okay, so these people were very knowledgeable of things they would call magic, and they were pretty much equating them to vampires, because they were probably following a lot of the same things that the Israelites were following, because that was our covenant. So I just wanted you to see that they were saying that the so-called Mexicans here were doing the same things as the Jews and the Moors and the witches over there. That's why they were getting, labeled with the same things as being vampires and killing kids and drinking blood and going against Christianity and all of that. So again, this is just another nail in your coffin, Gentiles. And we already know what you're going to do, how you're going to respond to this. You're not going to. Because the Father has shut your tongues, shut your mouths. Just like in the Planet of the Apes, when Woody Harrelson was going after Caesar and he caught that virus, and all of a sudden he couldn't talk anymore. The things that made them human, that virus took away. And that's what you're seeing now. What's made you think that you were above us has been taken away. Your reasoning, your ability to come and try to actually prove things to us and prove us wrong shows you that you were never able to. Your only thing that kept you on top was the fact that the Most High kept our eyes closed. Now the Most High has opened up our eyes and shut your mouths. All praise the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement of the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.